In the cold, cruel world of survival games, everything comes with a cost. Thankfully, you've got a Steam account and an internet connection, so you're good.
To turn an excavation beneath 2,000 feet of bedrock into the very picture of vault life.
Here are the best free survival games on Steam. Okay, we're going to be kicking this off with the Planet Crafter Prologue. You know, there's a lot of reasons to craft in games. You can craft for new items or valuable resources, or, to relax, pass the time. But what if your life depended on crafting? Well, wonder no more with the Planet Crafter Prologue. In it, players will need to master their harsh planet's environments, scrounging together what little they can find to ensure they can still breathe. That's a rather motivating situation. That's not to say the Planet Crafter is a challenging game, but it will require agency to terraform the surroundings to something a little more oxygen-based. The first step is the easiest. It's free, it's on Steam, just hit download and you've got it on your library. Okay, now we've got Mitos.is. Have you ever dreamed of becoming a cell? Well, if you have, that is strange. But if so, have I got a game for you. Mitos.is puts players in the inorganic irons of a cell, which consumes and grows and bats up against other hungry cells, resembling the very formations of life itself. The goal is, of course, survival. And to do so, players will need to artfully dodge any cell larger than itself while consuming those smaller than themselves. Challenging it is not, but with a competitive structure, it becomes surprisingly addictive. Added to this, it's free on Steam, so you're always going to be encountering new players online with custom cells. No wonder its fan base grew so quickly. Up next, we have No More in Hell Survival Mode. No More in Hell has been a consistent online game since 2011, and survival mode is an obvious reason why. Players are trapped in a location awaiting rescue, all the while hordes of zombies progressively arrive in waves, picking off your fellow players in a chaotic fashion until the end. Will you survive? Absolutely not. At least not the first few tries. You're going to need to understand your surroundings and memorize a few of the key points, as well as communicating with your online teammates. The good news, you'll have plenty of time to practice and an easy time convincing your friends to nab a copy, as it's completely free on Steam. Alright, let's talk about Fallout Shelter. Fallout Shelter launched in the summer of 2005, and yet its gameplay remains timeless. Players oversee the resources and development of a famed Fallout Shelter, delivered in the cute aesthetic of the classic Fallout Pip-Boy. You won't be exploring the radiated remains of American iconography, but instead balancing goals with happiness while avoiding the deadly threat of mutated creatures invading your shelter. Yes, it's an important job, but someone has to do it, and that person can easily be you, as the game launched and remains free, even on Steam. Okay, Cowboy, we got pew pew, fistful of frags, rat 'em up, Cowboy, yeehaw. You know, Red Dead Redemption isn't the only Western game around. Fistful of Frags delivers its throwback first-person shooter, player versus enemy and player versus player, and even a single player, with restrictive and rustic themes of the late 19th century, meaning your weapons will be limited in accuracy and ammunition, but with enough practice, you'll survive in the wilderness, and you'll do so without spending a cent, adding the entire package to your Steam library. While certainly dated in visuals, just consider this all part of the appeal of roughing it. Plus, this means even the most modest hardware will have a chance to join in on the fun. Okay, up next, we're going to be talking about Unturned. Unturned is a unique entry on this list. Yes, you'll have plenty of bullet-laden battles with undead zombies and even a few problematic humans. It's a world of mass destruction that shouldn't be so happy, and yet it just is. Maybe it's the hyper-cubic and simple art style that makes the hunting and gathering less dire. Practically looks like a Lego game. It just happens to usually end in the dead of the night with a chain gun and a pile of zombies, before resuming the pleasant resource gathering the following sun-soaked morning. It's such a well-realized version of survival, it's rather surprising it's, well, free on Steam. Lucky for us, though. And lastly, here we have Muck. Now, Muck sounds kind of gross, but if you look at it, this game is pretty. Much more like Unturned in some ways, and its real influence, Minecraft. It's a fantasy world made of low polygon art, but the players themselves look like goofy ragdolls. You'll still face off against the creatures of the night, but in an inspired turn, they're not simple zombies, but monsters of different skills and sizes, adding some variety to the formula. And yes, it has all the collection, survival, crafting, and home building of Minecraft, but in a much more streamlined yet dynamic loop. It runs on practically anything that has Windows 10, and yes, it's free on Steam. Man, developers are generous these days. And there you have it. Those are the best free survival games on Steam. We hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll keep clicking around here on Game Rant. We have many more videos, more articles, more features, so stick around, and we'll see you soon.